Hello, this is Seljan, and this is a shooting cycle breakdown. Nothing special, it's not magic, it's just one of the many shooting cycles that can be used. But I try to explain why I do things a certain way and why not, and this is just a overview basically. And it's all related to the Spartan, so this is the way I shoot the Spartan. So first of all, my hold is I'm thumb bracing, and I try to grab it as high as possible. So if I'm using glider bands, I like to use it like this, so resting it there, especially when it's high up. And I try to use my thumb pretty much high, so that's basically very close to the band, if you see that. Now this frame is a proto, one version earlier, and the only difference is the logo. And just for comparison about the aging, so this is the 01 and this is an older version, month in it. I am right hand hold and I have an eye dominance issue, so for this reason I'm closing or squinting with my right eye. This is my aiming eye. So the way it gives me a cleaner view of the sight. As you see, the sight is fairly high up. It's an 80mm fork, so that means it's good for 10 meters and above. So TTF, if they are wider, they are covering the target. So especially if you're choosing and using 15 meters, having fun, and 20 meters for accuracy, this will not get in the way. Here there are some marks. This one, Jordan also showed these marks. These are great for placing the band to the center or placing off center. You may notice that I have two different fibers. I like to use these depending on where the light is coming from. If there's too bright or the sunshine is too strong, or reflective or something is happening, light's coming from behind, I like to choose and use the red one. But in some other cases, if there's well lit and you don't necessarily need to use the fibers, so you can have like one is without the fiber, the other one is with fibers. TTF bands, OTT bands, it's you can tie even like an OTT band for TTF, no problem. That's how it goes. Okay, so the V's are pointing upwards. Okay, for the elbow is I like to lift it up fairly high, so that means this area, and I'm not the only one who shoots like this. So this area and this area are this is a cup, and I can put my zygomatic bone in there, so it's fairly good, and I can also feel the glass. So that's also the earlobe in here. It touches this area, so that's also giving me a feedback. I find it useful. It gives consistency. It could be bad if you are having a tendency to tilt too much. So here it's not necessarily. It works stable, but it's like this can come in the way, the glass. So if you are a little bit higher, can pull, it gives a better clarity for the glass. Okay, so be careful if you have wearing glasses like I do, so you need to be aware of that. The straight arm it's much easier to maintain if I'm rotating this around. So the forearm is a little bit rotated, and this is why my natural hold is something like this. Now with TTF, you have a pretty good visual sight of the bands. So if you see those, you can really feel how much gap you have there. Okay, so let me move it. This is the gap the camera sees, and I see something like this. So I see something like this. It's very close. So that's what, if you see the band alignment. I don't have super strong wrists. So in this case, when I pull it, it has a tendency to like lean back a bit. I'm not fighting against it or trying to like going this direction. I let it go backwards a bit if it needs to. I just want to maintain and hook with my finger up here. So I'm using this area and hooking right now. If I'm not using the pinky hole is a little bit cleaner and easier, and that helps to get a feedback on it and feel. The position is also indicating that the shoulders position is changed and the elbow is a little bit higher. If I move it here and I try to move it down, it's not, my elbow comes really forward like this outside, and that botches my shots because I'm pushing too much against my face, and it's altering the shots all the time. So this is why if I'm pulling higher, holding my elbow a little bit higher, standing up straight, I have a better in-line setup. Also, when I'm nervous, I have a tendency to push it too much against my face, and that's not really working well, okay? So, fairly relaxed, lifting up the arm, and the way when it starts, the whole motion starts, is the shoulder is down, so it's right sitting well in the girdle. So when I'm lifting it up, I'm not lifting the shoulder, I'm just rotating, and it's a single motion. So there's no extra, so I'm just rotating until I reach. Okay? So let me show that without load. So usually I'm here, and I'm just rotating only around the shoulder and just rotating up, and that the whole thing is basically a single motion. Okay, so that simplifies the whole stuff. There's not much things to control, but you don't notice because you don't see my legs. But to be able to go like this, I have to play a little bit with the legs. But again, it's depending on your anatomy, it's depending on your shoulder mobility. So when I'm shooting, my leg is a little bit behind. So this is the direction. This is the direction. And my left leg I'm holding with the right hand, and my left leg is behind. And because of that, I can move out the body, so I can move my shoulder a little bit off, moving back, and that holds, that gives a better position. Okay, so let me switch to here. So this shoulder could be a little bit more behind, this is more in the front, it's in line. But if I'm moving it like this, I have a lot more room, and you don't even see my elbow. But if I'm moving parallel, you may see my elbow like this. Okay, so that is a little bit of a trick that could be used, and it also adds a twist. So for the pelvis and the shoulders are twisted a little bit, and that twist can also engage the core muscles. The legs are a bit more triangulated against the target. The front and back is, I also feel, a little bit more stable for me. Okay, so if I'm totally parallel, my problem is that I'm losing a little bit of back weight, so I'm leaning forward and start the balancing. But if this one leg is a little bit behind or front, whatever, in my experience, that adds stability for my shooting cycle. Breathing. I'm not going in order. I'm just covering many things at once. So, breathing. We should start with breathing, but honestly, it's also very challenging for if you don't have a rhythm, if you don't have a setup and a cycle. So what I like to do as a setup in the first is I'm looking at the target and make sure that when I'm lifting up my arm, the side, the reference is on the target. Okay, so if it's not, I make a correction, moving forward, moving backwards, but that's what I like to do. So when I'm landing with that, and how it comes to breathing is, before I lift my arm up, or like drawing, I take a breath. It's like a 50%. So I'm inhaling through my nose, and then taking, again, I'm exhalating, and then it will go. And when I'm releasing, then I'm exhaling. So the way to do it is, so it's not slowing down your heart rate, but it's like having a slightly better control. If you have a pressure in your chest, it stabilizes, it pushes down and holds the muscles a little bit better, so you can be more stable with the shooting. Also, when you are compressing, imagine when you're reaching out for something and lifting up something heavy, and you do this and pushing down a little bit from the chest and compressing the air a bit and bracing yourself and then lifting up. That motion creates a pressure in the cavity, in the chest cavity, and that slows down a little bit of heart rate. It's not crazy, but it's something that you can sense. So it works for like a couple seconds. It's not much. So this is why the shooting cycle, this is one of the reasons why it could be important, is like 50%, then full breath. It's not a forced breath, it's like a 90%, and then stop. It's a significant stop, and I'm not starting breathing out. I'm just stopping and like sitting on it. Imagine that I'm full with air, so that holds me pretty well. I have like X seconds and shoot. And then let it go, and I'm not moving away the hands too early. Just hold it and watch as the hit comes in or a miss, so that I can understand how the shooting was performed and if I did something good or something bad. It's important acknowledging what was good. You know that it's not that easy and not that straightforward to just do this mentally. It's a lot to handle at the same time, so just brief steps. I hope you will find this helpful, and have a good time. And goodbye, everyone. So, Slant Spartan. Bye.